Hi.
Hello. My name is Celine.
And I'm Grace.
And this is Podium Pop. This is our very first episode of our Formula One podcast. We've talked about doing this for a long time.
Like 6 months.
6 months. And so we're like, you know what? 2024, new year. Let's just do it.
We're going to do it.
Are we allowed to cuss?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't see why not.
Yeah.
We're being our true authentic selves.
Yeah,
we have to.
We are cussers. One thing about us is we're going to say some naughty words.
We are cussers. That's right. Of course, we'll be talking about Formula One, but we both love a bit of pop culture.
Mm-hmm.
We love reading. We love all the things. We love all the things the girlies love.
Yeah.
This, first and foremost, is a podcast for the girlies.
For the girls. Yep. We are fangirls at heart.
Mm-hmm.
Every phase that you could think a fangirl went through, we've been there. But we've really settled on Formula One. It's been pretty much all we talk about. Our other friends absolutely hate us because of it. So we're like, let's just record it.
Formula One is our Roman Empire.
It is our Roman Empire. It's our whole entire lives.
Yeah.
I think about it constantly. Mm-hmm. Every single hour, a Formula One thought does go through my mind. And most of it's just dumb thoughts.
Yeah.
I'm never thinking anything too profound. But we have a lot of thoughts and a lot of opinions. They're all opinions. Don't get mad at us if you don't agree.
They're all our own.
We are sensitive at heart, so if you're mean to us in the comments, we'll cry about it.
Don't yell at me. Yeah. That's all I ask.
But yeah, they're all opinions. We might not agree with each other.
Mm-hmm.
She really likes Lance, and
what do you want to say?
I don't want to get into too much trouble, but he's not my favorite. But it's fine. We're never going to agree with well, actually, we do agree most of the time.
A lot.
But we're not always going to agree with each other, and you probably won't agree with a lot of the things that we say also. But again, we're just having fun, having a little chat.
Yeah. Just for the girls.
Just for the girls and just talking. Now, we say it's just for the girls, but we do welcome all listeners. Sure. Everyone is allowed to listen. I'm going to send this to my parents. Shout out to you, Dad. You are allowed to listen to our podcast as well.
Yeah.
You're allowed to do that. So
the girls and the dads.
The girls and the dads specifically is our target audience. Yeah. We're recent Formula One fans.
Yeah, we are.
I got into it about a year and a half ago, almost 2 years ago. And then Gracie, after months and months of me pushing the Formula One agenda onto her,
it finally happened.
She drank the Kool-Aid.
I did.
So
a lot of it.
A lot of it. She chugged the Kool-Aid.
I did.
She took a sip and was like, this is tasty. Right. And then she guzzled it all down.
Yeah.
So guzzled it all down. So but yeah, we're both pretty new. So if we say something wrong or we say something incorrect, be nice to us, but educate us. We want to know. And we'll probably have some questions on here, and we're like, we'll ask. We'll ask.
I know nothing about the tires.
We'll maybe do some research. I know a little bit about the tires.
I get it.
But it's still a little confusing for sure. So we're all going to kind of learn and grow together. We're super excited for the upcoming season. We'll obviously have a lot of race recaps.
Oh, yeah. That's the main focus of our podcast. Is after every race, we'll do a race recap. We have some fun little segments here and there that'll come in. Every week, we're going to do a champagne problems of the week. So a driver who just didn't have the best week ever. And we'll do someone who had champagne pops of the week. So someone who stood out. It's not always going to be the race winner.
It's not always going to be Max.
It's not always going to be Max. It's going to be someone who did something great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we're super excited. We'll obviously still have we'll have an episode each week. Even weeks that there's no race, we'll, find something to talk about. We'll still be yapping away. Don't worry.
We're yappers.
We're cussers and we're yappers.
That's who we are. That's all you need to know about us.
It's a perfect introduction to us. But we'll go ahead and get started. So for the first episode, did you have anything else to add? Okay. So for the first episode, we're really just going to kind of give a little bit of introduction, kind of get to know, or have you all get to know us. We know each other very well. So we'll go ahead and get started. I guess we'll start with how we know each other.
Oh, yeah.
So we met in college.
Yep.
We've been friends since 2015.
Yeah, 2015.
We actually lived on the same floor freshman year. But we were like friends. We were in the same sorority, but we weren't like super close until the following year when we didn't live on the same floor.
Yeah.
But
we're like 40 minutes away from each other.
Yeah, 40 minutes away from each other. But we still saw each other. You were over all the time.
Yeah.
But yeah, those 2015s, that was...
I think like 2016 is when we
started becoming... So
yeah,
like 7 or 8 years.
Yeah.
I can't do math.
I think it's 8 years. You wrote that on my birthday card.
Oh. Yeah, 8 years. We've been friends. Wow, that's a long time.
That's a really long time.
Actually, it's just
kind of doesn't feel like it either.
Yeah. Time flies when you're having fun.
Time flies when you're a fangirl.
Yeah. So yeah, we've been friends ever since. We lived together for a year in college. We lived with 3 other girls.
During COVID too.
During COVID.
We had nothing else to do. But
it was 5 girls. How many cats? 3 cats?
3 cats at one point. And then
3 cats at one point. 2 dogs.
Ugh. That was a lot.
A couple...
Well, that was only for the first half.
A couple mice living in our basement too.
Oh, yeah.
They weren't welcome guests.
We'll get into that later.
Yeah, we didn't like them there. But
traumatizing.
But yeah, so we know everything about each other, so we're excited for you all to get to know us more and for us to get to know you all more. I'm sure this first episode will be listened to, majority of it will be listened to by people that already know us.
Yeah.
Shout out to you all.
Yeah, thanks guys. We appreciate you. Number 1 fans.
Number 1 fans, yeah. So, but hopefully as, our fan base hopefully grows, we'll get to know you all a little bit more and, again, get some good conversation going about the things that we are not sure about, that we don't know the answer to.
Yeah.
So
I feel like this is also perfect for if you're just joining Formula One. Like I'm new. Like I've been a fan for almost 6 months now. So we're still figuring things out together. We can explain things together. Yeah. So it'll be good for the new fans starting out. Yeah.
Perfect. Yep. So we have a couple questions for each other. I wrote mine down. You wrote yours down, but your phone is recording right now. So okay. She's going to have to think of it at the top of her head. So I'll go ahead and do my first question.
Okay.
It's really easy. How did you get into Formula One?
Well, I got into Formula One because of you.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Yeah.
You're welcome.
Yeah. I remember when you were watching Drive to Survive, and I was like, oh, I think I might do that. But, I never did. And then Celine would send me, 20 TikToks a day. In the beginning, I would just, scroll past and be like, oh, well, I'll watch a few of them. And then I, started actually watching them. And then the first race I watched was Zandvoort 2023 after summer break. And I remember you were texting me about it and about the rain delay. And I knew Lando because he came up on my For You page a bunch. That was the first one. I was like, I like Lando. If I was ever, I'll be a Lando fan. And
you did say that, actually. You were like, if I was a Formula One fan, I just know I would be a Lando fan. I'm like, yeah, Lando's right up your alley.
He is.
Yeah.
And you texted me something about, the rain that was happening. And I remember I was like, oh, that's pretty crazy. And I was like, let me Google it. Where can I watch it? And it said ESPN. And I was like, okay, I have ESPN. So I just turned it on. And it was the first race I watched. I saw all the marshals, dancing in the rain.
Yeah.
I, sat through the red flag of the rain delay. And I was like, what does this mean? Is the race over? What is happening? I don't know. Yeah, that's how I got into it.
Yeah. It was really, I will say, even now, our other friends who don't keep up with Formula One, and even before when Gracie wasn't a fan, they were very good at still letting me talk about Formula One and being like, okay, just this morning, my sister, I was FaceTiming with my sister, and she knows nothing about Formula One. She has no interest in learning about Formula One as much as I try to push it onto her. But she was asking me questions about it, and they're very, they let me
yap.
They let me yap.
You gotta.
Yeah. I got into Formula One through Drive to Survive, which I know is a big thing. But I actually saw a TikTok about it. And then I saw a couple of the girlies on Twitter talking about it. So I was like, what is this whole Formula One thing? And I mean, I won't lie, I was like, a lot of hot men. Of course I'll look into it.
Hot European men.
Hot European men. Okay, sign me up. So then I started watching Drive to Survive, and I got really into it. I binge watched the whole at that point there were 4 seasons, I think. So I like binge watched all of it, and then like from that point on I was like obsessed. And this was also at the time where like nobody that I knew watched Formula One. I did not. I had like a couple, like I knew of some people, but like not people that I talked to. It was very lonely. I had no one to talk to about. So obviously because of that, I did everything I can to get every single person I know to be a fan of it. It took forever, almost a full year actually, because it was what, August when you watched the first race, or no, September.
No, in August.
In
It was
August,
like end of August.
End of August, yeah.
It was literally the 27th. I remember.
How do you know that?
Well, I remember because we went to the 5 Seconds Summer concert on the 26th, and then the next day was the 27th.
Oh,
yeah,
perfect.
It was a great weekend.
Great, big weekend for you.
You also, that weekend we were driving down to, like, we were taking a trip in the car, and
where were we going?
We were going to Louisville for Molly's bridal shower.
Oh, okay.
And you were like, qualifying's happening right now. Will you, like, I was like, there are other people in the car. Were you like, will you look up, like, the qualifying results? And I was like, all right, like, what do I type in? So I just, like, she, like, go to Twitter. So I went to Twitter, I just typed in F1 qualifying, and then, like, the F1 page popped up. And I think it was Lewis Hamilton that was out, and I was like, oh, Hamilton out Q3. And you were like, what? And I was like, what does that mean? I don't know.
No, it was something, like, really dramatic. Like, he was out in, like, Q1 or Q2 or something.
Oh, yeah, I meant, yeah. Q1.
And I was like, are you kidding me? And you're like, I don't know what that means. I'm like, it's a big deal.
You're like, are you sure you read that right? And I was like, yeah. I was like, there's a frowning emoji next to it too.
Yeah. So eventually it worked. So it was about a full year that it took for me to get someone to talk to Formula One about. And
I did it.
It's actually, an issue how often me and Gracie talk about Formula One. Like we end most days with at least an hour-long FaceTime.
Yeah. Just
talking about Formula One. And most of the times, we're just repeating the same things we've already said. We just repeat it over and over and over again. And just,
it brings us joy.
It's passion. It's our hobby. It's just what we like to do.
We're dedicated.
Anybody else, like, listening to it would probably be, like, banging their head against the wall. But, like, we'll do our best to not just repeat ourselves over and over again.
We'll catch it
during this podcast, but it's going to happen. Like, it's just who we are. So, just be aware of that, for the future. Anything else to add on how we got into Formula One? Okay. Do you have a question?
Yeah, we could follow up for that.
Okay.
Did you know anything about motorsport before watching Drive to Survive or getting into Formula One?
So I knew absolutely nothing. I've never done anything like IndyCar, like NASCAR. The closest I got to any, like, car racing was in middle school. I went to visit my cousins, and they lived near, like, a racetrack, but it's like
the Mid-Ohio one or something else?
No, it's like, I don't even know what it is. Karting? It's not karting. It's literally like it's like a dirt track.
Oh, okay.
And people enter in, like, their beat up, like, cars that
amazing.
They spray paint their number on the side and they race it. And my cousin's husband,
like a step down from NASCAR.
A couple steps down from NASCAR. A lot of steps down from NASCAR. Yeah. And so my cousin's husband raced in those races, and it was the only introduction I had. So basically nothing, because I also didn't even know what was going on during that. Basically nothing. No experience with anything motorsports. I've never been into cars. Like, I've never been like, ooh, that's a Ferrari. Or like,
oh yeah,
no, they all just look the same to me, or they looked the same to me before.
You gotta look for a logo.
Yeah, look for a logo.
Yeah, before, honestly, that's so true. Now I'm like, oh my god, there goes an Aston Martin driving down the street.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. Have you?
I did. When I think I was like probably before middle school. My dad, my brother, my sister, mainly my dad, were all pretty into NASCAR, and so like it would just be on, on the weekends. And my mom was a cheerleading coach, so she was usually gone on the weekends. So like my dad always had NASCAR on, and so I would watch it for him, watch it with him. It would just be on, whatever. And then eventually, like, I watched one time and I was like, "Ooh, this is like whatever. This is pretty cool." I had a favorite driver, Denny Hamlin.
Ooh,
I think he was number 11. I had a Denny Hamlin T-shirt. It was great.
Wow.
I went to, I think, 3 NASCAR Sprint Cup races.
Wow, I didn't know that, actually.
I've been to went to the Kentucky Speedway. Sprint Cup races are very different than the sprint races in Formula One. I remember when I heard that, I was like, oh, that's like, okay. And then I was like, oh no, these are different. And then I was a fan for a while when I was younger. I think maybe like middle school, high school, I stopped watching just because I got busier with school and everything. But so I knew a little bit about that. And then, so going into Formula One, it was like, okay, I get what's happening, but there's still a lot of stuff then. So like a lot of steps up.
Yeah. Very different.
Yeah, very different.
Okay, great. Next question I have. Well, first of all, tell everyone what your favorite team is. And tell them why they're your favorite team.
Oh, wow.
And we're going to have probably very similar answers because we both have the same favorite team. And if you're seeing a video of this, it's probably very obvious what our favorite team is. But
shouldn't be shocked. So my favorite team is McLaren. I like them because we talked about earlier, Lando was like the first driver I ever saw. So I'm on TikTok. It was a video of him surprising fans. I'm sure you've all seen it. The ones where he's wearing a racing helmet and he's sim racing with fans. I saw that and I was like, oh, that's like cool. Whatever. So then when I watched the race for the first time, I didn't know anybody else. I knew Lando, I knew Max, I knew Daniel. And I was like, okay, like this is fine. I'm rooting for Lando. I remember the whole time he was in 7th. I was like, okay.
You have a great memory.
I do.
And you're so humble.
I have a great memory. Yeah, so then I was like, well, okay, like I like Lando. I'll like McLaren. I'll like Oscar. So they're all my favorites.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Around the time I was getting to Formula One was when the whole I loved Daniel Ricciardo. And it was when the whole like, Oscar to Alpine to, that kind of thing was happening. And so I think it's just because I was exposed to them the most. I also love Lando. He's like one of my favorite drivers, top 3 definitely. And I love Daniel Ricciardo. Do I love the whole McLaren, Daniel Ricciardo, how that happened? Absolutely not.
Nope.
But no team's perfect. But I love Oscar. I think he has so much potential.
Oh my God, so talented.
He's gonna be like, I think he's gonna be big in a couple years. He's gonna be really big, and already his rookie season was insane for the 2023 season. So I love McLaren that way. I love, but it's mainly Lando that got me into McLaren for sure. I have do you have any minor other teams? There are other teams where McLaren's I'm gonna root for McLaren first, but I definitely have side teams. I love Williams.
I love Williams. I want all the good things in the world for Williams.
Just
because I love them so much.
Logan and Alex are both just so
yeah, and I love James Vowles.
Yeah,
with all my heart. I think he's one of the best principals out there.
Yeah,
you can just tell how genuine and how kind he is.
Yeah,
especially after Qatar.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I love Williams.
It's also so easy to root for an underdog.
Yeah, it's root for an underdog, and you're it's almost less pressure to love them because McLaren you love them, and if they aren't winning, you're pissed off.
Yeah.
And you're this is the end of the world. But when you love Williams, the expectations are so low that when they do have a good weekend, you're this is the best time ever.
Yes.
So that's, something I like. Actually, when I first got into Formula One, I was actually a Red Bull fan. I still like Red Bull. I still like Max. But again, because I loved Daniel Ricciardo, and when I the first early seasons of Drive to Survive, the first season, he was on Red Bull. So I started actually as a Red Bull fan, and then so I still I still like them. Obviously, Max winning every week, it gets old. But I'm still excited for him.
Yeah, I love Max.
I love Max.
He's in my top 5 drivers.
Yeah. I also love. So it's funny. I would say honestly, my next favorite team after McLaren and after Williams would actually be Aston Martin.
I was gonna say for Alonso.
I love Alonso. I just love him so much. I think he's the funniest, and he's so he is the epitome of Formula One.
No, 100%.
Especially seeing clips from his older, or when he was younger, his older races, him, his celebrations after he wins, it's just I don't know, there's no filter on it.
Yeah.
And that's what I love, Formula One drivers, when they just don't, Max, I everyone's Mad Max, Max gets angry, I like seeing them get angry, and I like seeing them, the passion and the, I don't know, the vibes that they give.
It doesn't need to be so perfect.
Yeah.
Like, I feel like if, I don't know, sometimes, like, obviously they need the media training. They can't just go crazy on the media, but sometimes it's, like, taking away from it.
Yeah.
I don't know.
It's like, tell us what you really think.
Yeah.
We want to know.
And Max is always so blunt in his interviews. He's like, no, why would I have done that?
Yeah.
Or when he was like, why are you, I told GP, please, like, when I was breaking, don't talk when I'm breaking.
Yeah. Yeah. So I like when the ones that are a little bit more rough around the edges, like, which is interesting too, though, because that's the other reason, the other side of Aston Martin, you know, Lance, he's not my favorite, but like when he does have those, like,
he had one incident, okay,
but
he
like
had one.
It's almost like it makes him more like human, you know, like him like pushing the guy, you know, that whole situation.
Trainer, whatever.
He was mad, but like it's almost like just.
Everyone's mad about you.
It makes it more like, I know everyone was so mad about it, and I think I did like call him a brat or something.
You did, yeah.
But like looking back, and I'm like, but it made me like him more.
You were like saying that, and I was like, yeah, okay, get it out, go ahead.
But like, yeah, it just makes it more real. So I love Fernando Alonso, and that makes me like Aston Martin a lot.
Yeah, we have like the half or like the perfect Aston Martin.
Yeah,
like I like Aston Martin
you
for
like
Lance. Yeah,
and I like Fernando. Yep.
That was my next question was, do the same people you liked in the beginning? Like, is it the same?
Yeah.
So we kind of covered that.
I'm trying to think of who else I liked at the beginning. I very briefly was trying to be supportive of Haas because of them being an American team, but it's hard. I like, you know, Nico and I like Kevin, but like they're just kind of there for me.
Yeah, I don't.
There's not like a strong feeling one way or the other for them.
We can't like everybody.
Yeah. I mean, we almost do.
Well,
you like Ferrari as well.
I do like Ferrari. Mm-hmm. I'm a big Charles and Carlos fan.
Yeah, I like Ferrari because I like Charles and I like Carlos, but I don't like Charles and Carlos on Ferrari.
That's
together.
Fair. Like we need Ferrari to get their shit together, but also like I like too many people and I'm so conflicted. I'm like, well, I don't want Ferrari to get their shit together because I want Lando winning.
Yeah.
Like, Lando's always coming first.
Exactly.
Like, it's so
McLaren
hard.
is, like, always like, well, no, McLaren has to come first.
Yeah.
Although I feel like lately I've definitely been, like, I feel like you lean more towards Lando, where, like, I feel like I lean more in the middle between Lando and Oscar.
Yeah.
Because you like Oscar, obviously.
Yeah, oh, yeah.
But, like, I still want Lando to do better than I still lean more towards Lando.
Yeah.
Mainly because I just need him to get his first win.
No.
And then I'd be okay with it being fully equal. But, like, for now, I like that. I want all of the good things in McLaren to happen to Lando.
Yeah. Like, we still want good things for Oscar, but...
Right.
Lando just needs
his first win.
He was so close so many times this past year.
So unfair. It's not fair at all. Oh, man.
I have a good question.
Okay.
Did you, when you first joined,
think,
like, anything, like, I don't know how to explain. Okay, I'll give my example.
Okay.
That's the only way I can explain it. So when I first joined, we gotta go back a bit. Because we also fucking love Logan Sargent.
Oh, yes.
I might love Logan more than you. I can't tell.
More than who?
Than you.
Oh.
If I'm, like, more of a Logan fan.
Well, yeah.
I can't tell. I don't know.
I think before you were, but we, announcement we are going to the Miami Grand Prix.
Oh, yeah.
Which is, we bought the tickets a couple of days ago. We're all very excited. It'll be both of our first Grand Prix. But I'm, like, most excited to go, like, because we're going to Miami, like, I'm most excited because it's Logan's home race. Like, that's going to make things so exciting. I do love Logan. I love Williams.
I love Logan.
I definitely, for Williams, lean more towards Alex.
Yeah, that's so funny.
Like, I want Alex to do really good.
He also deserves.
He deserves
everything
some redemption.
Yeah.
But I really do like Logan. I think he needs to be a little bit more. I think he needs to, like, loosen up a little bit.
I would agree.
He's very, like...
He's still, like, finding the ropes.
Yeah, it was his rookie season.
Yeah. He's like the only American on the grid.
He's the only American. And he also, like, I don't know, I feel like I just haven't seen his real full personality on, like the social media videos and all that stuff. And I'm excited to see maybe in his second season us see a little bit more of the real Logan.
Yeah.
Because, again, feels very media trained and very, like, this is going to sound meaner than I mean it to.
Okay.
he's giving like stale piece of bread.
Okay, a little bit, but
I can see it there, you know, like just with his like.
Well, but if you have to think about it, like back in Prima with like Fred and Oscar, he was like much more
like comfortable, and
I feel like he's still like, I feel like you could see throughout the season going on, like him and Alex getting more comfortable around each other.
And I think that'll help a lot too. Next season they already know each other. He knows people on the team. He knows what to do. He's been to these races, so I think that'll help a lot too. So I'm excited to see Logan more, and I think I'm gonna continue liking him, and I'm excited for Miami, obviously, to see him.
Like, he shows so much potential, and he can do it. He just needs to. I feel like this year, like, I'm hoping he can like really pull it off and show, because he did so good. I like watched a full video like about his career. He did so good. One of the times, like the shittiest car in F3, I think, or something, and then he started winning with it. Oh, I got chills.
Yeah. Wow. You need to send me that video. I want to watch.
Oh, it's good. It's really good. Okay, back to my question. The only way I can think to describe it is, did you mix up people or mix up things? My example is, so the first race I watched was Zandvoort, and that's when Liam came in for the first time because Daniel got hurt. And that's also like Logan crashed or something. Yeah. And for some reason, I don't know why, I combined the two people, very opposite people. Yeah. And so in my head, I was like, oh, look, Logan and Liam. I was like, that's the same person. I was like, the American, but I was like, wait a minute, he didn't step in for Daniel, he had his own seat. I don't know, it was like a weekend, and I finally realized they were two separate people.
Yeah, I never had. I love Liam too. Oh yeah, I love Liam, and I want him to have a seat. It's so hard to think about like new people coming in, because the grid is exactly the same from last year to this year. That's insane. Which is it's really crazy. I don't know how often that happens, but it can't be very often.
No, I think this is the first time it's ever happened.
Ever?
Yeah.
Wow.
I feel like I saw that.
I love that. Yeah. But it's. I lost my train of thought.
Did you ever combine people?
Like, yeah. I definitely, when I first started watching, would get, or not first started watching like Drive to Survive, but when first started watching the races, I would get Nico and Kevin confused a lot. That's easy. And I see people on Twitter say that like all the time. Or
they're both like dads with
they're both hair. Dads. They have blonde hair. They both drive for the same team. Yeah. So I used to get them confused, but I think that'd be like the most that I get confused. I can't think of any other like confusion I had. So yeah, just them two. But I can see why, you know, Liam and Logan, they're both rookies. They both were near the same area on the grid. Yeah, starting with the L. But
I feel like in that race too, there was like a lot of talk. Well, obviously there was a lot of talk about Liam, and then some about Logan. And I don't know. I literally have no clue. I was like, it's American. I was like, the other guy's Australian. I was like, wait, are they two people? I literally remember I was at work and I was like Googling. I was like, oh shit, wait.
Yeah, no, it's but other than that, I haven't really got, and I think that's mainly because of Drive to Survive, because I like actually like saw them. Rather, if I was like watching a race and just seeing their names, I probably would get some more people confused for sure. So,
you have another question?
Yeah, let's see. What has been your favorite F1 moment from the 2023 season?
So I have two.
Okay.
Well, yeah, I have two. I never got to watch it live because I wasn't a fan yet, but Lando Norris leads the British Grand Prix.
Oh, so good.
Amazing. That's, like, I think about that so often.
I get chills thinking about it. Yeah.
It's so good. Okay. Obviously Singapore.
Yeah. It was really good.
But that's not going to be my second answer.
Okay.
My second answer is going to be Japan, Lando and Oscar podium together. Mm-hmm. That was like
a special moment.
Oh my god, that was so good.
I mean, Singapore was good because we got like Carlos and Lando on the podium together.
But that's also like, I don't know, I just love McLaren so much, and I literally Oscar's first podium. Like,
so cute. So cute.
I remember I was like so excited.
Yeah. Yeah, that was a special moment.
I think we have a video out there somewhere of us recording our reaction to the end of the race.
We also have a video recording of us of this Singapore race of George crashed. We were like, oh my gosh!
I think in the beginning I was like, no! And I was like, wait, this is good for us. Yes!
I do also love George Russell.
You do love
George Russell is like, I love him in like, it started as like an ironic way that I love him, and now it's like actually like I would die for him.
Yeah, for sure.
He's just a goofy guy.
He is a goofy guy. He's
and
like the stereotypical British person.
Yeah. One
sure.
thing about me, I'm gonna love a goofy guy.
You do love a goofy guy.
Actually, I'm not like, I like Lewis. I can respect his career. I'm not like a big like Lewis fan.
Yeah.
Like I don't, he's not who I root for. But my two favorite moments, or not favorite, my two like standout moments, for the 2023 season, both kind of revolved around Lewis.
Oh.
So the one was in Singapore at the Podium.
Oh, yes.
He just looked so sad.
He looked so
and no one
sad.
from Mercedes was there. And that really stuck with me because I love Lewis. I love George. I don't like Mercedes. The team,
yeah,
I don't like it.
I don't feel like anything particular.
Yeah. And then the other one was the joint Instagram post with Charles and Lewis.
And Charles. That was good. That was really good.
After they were disqualified from the race.
Mood.
It was... I mean, it's those, like, you had to be there moments.
Oh my god, yeah.
But, like, I swear, like, the earth stopped spinning. Like, that's how crazy it was. My world stopped when that happened.
My world also stopped because that was the first time Logan got points. Because disqualifications. And you know what? A win is a win.
A win is a win.
We'll take it.
I love, like, the trickle effects. Like, what was that one, like, that led to, like, Liam...
Alex Albon's appendix.
I
forget the whole timeline of that, but yeah.
Yeah, and like it caused literally like this whole trickle effect.
Oh my god, yeah.
I love stuff like that with Formula 1.
I think
go ahead.
I think we should throw in an honorable mention of Seb's bees.
I literally was about to say that. I was about to talk about Seb.
His bees.
It was so cute. And
look at your dad out there keeping bees.
Like all of the drivers being there to support him.
Oh my god, yeah.
I get emotional. I get emotional thinking about it. Because who doesn't love Sebastian Vettel? If you don't like Sebastian Vettel, I just simply don't believe you.
Get out of here.
I just don't believe you.
No. I don't feel like there's anybody that could hate Sebastian Vettel.
No. He's the most genuine
oh my god, yeah.
guy.
Yeah, I love how much he cares about the environment too.
Yeah. I wish I was a Formula 1 fan during his prime.
Oh my god, I know.
When he was at Red Bull, like I would have loved to experience that. But interesting thing is that like I feel like almost if I was an F1 fan during the time that Sebastian Vettel was at Red Bull, I don't think I would like Sebastian Vettel as much.
Oh, really?
Because I think it'd be like a Lewis and a Max situation where I'm like, it's not like it gets old. Like, okay, we know you're winning. You're the best. Like, it's like boring. Let's move on. So maybe I don't know if I would have liked him as much as if I did that. This is a good follow up to my next question though. Is there any other like past drivers that you wish you could have like experienced racing on the grid other than Sebastian Vettel?
So yeah, definitely Sebastian. I was very upset that I didn't start watching F1 with you to watch.
If only, I mean, I tried.
No, you did. Like it's my own fault.
Yeah.
It would have been really cool to see like the dominance of Michael Schumacher.
Yeah.
I feel like. I think it would have been cool to see the rise of Red Bull with Mark and Sebastian. I feel like that would have been really cool, especially because everybody was doubting them. Like there's that famous interview where they're like, "Oh, who's gonna win the constructors this year?" And the one guy was like, "Red Bull,"
and everybody was like laughing.
Yeah. I think that would have been really cool to see.
Yeah, I do.
Or like Senna.
Yeah, for sure. I think I would have loved like to be watching the live races whenever it was like, Jensen, Alonso, Mark Webber,
God,
Sebastian Vettel.
I love that
Jensen
man.
Button. I love him. I also love Mark Webber, and my love for Mark Webber definitely stems from one, Red Bull, because again I started as a Red Bull fan, but two, because I love Oscar so much. Yeah, by extension, 100%. I love Mark Webber.
Yeah.
But Mark Webber. But yeah, I just that era would have been so cool to see.
Yeah.
Like live, I guess. As like a Formula 1 fan, I guess.
Yeah, that would have been insane. I had a question that popped in my head, but I forget it. I'm trying to see if it'll...
I can find a new one.
Come back.
I have a couple more.
Oh, I have a... I do have one.
Okay.
Do you have another one that's related to anything you're talking about?
No.
Okay, give us a hot take about Formula 1.
Oh, God. Oh... You're really putting me on the spot here.
Yeah, I don't even think I have one. I wrote it down.
I think, my hot take about Formula One
Mm-hmm.
is I think, I think the only person that wouldn't, the people that wouldn't agree with us are the drivers. The drivers hate, like, how big, like, the media stuff is.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, as a fan, though, like, I get why they do it.
Yeah.
I like that they do all the media stuff. Like, I mean, Vegas was a little much, like, with the
Vegas was much.
the crazy, like, Hunger Games-esque, intro.
Yeah,
That was a little
insane.
much. But, like, all the interviews and, like, the cute, like, videos they do, like, the teams do, I love all that stuff. And I think it's really expanding, the fans, even more so than Drive to Survive. I think Drive to Survive got Formula One, traction in America.
Mm-hmm.
But I think those little videos that the fan posts, the TikToks and all of that, like, that's what keeps the fans there. Like, that's what keeps us around.
I mean, that's like bringing, like, a new audience, like, younger, female.
Yeah. And I think it's really expanding the fan bases. I also am, like, a big believer in, like, I don't know, about, like, accepting new fans in. Like, I feel like in a lot of, like, fandoms, like, even in sports or, like, even, like, the thing with, like, old men and, like, rock bands being, like, name, like, 3 artists. Like,
name 3 songs.
I think it's, name 3 songs. I love new fans, and I love when they come in being, like, I don't know everything, like, asking me questions. Like, yes, ask me questions. I will answer questions.
Like, I love to see, like, your love and, like,
it grow. And I think, those little videos and the media stuff they do help get those people involved.
Yeah, I agree. I think that's a good one.
Mm-hmm.
On the hot take, mine is, obviously it benefits me because it's in America and I'm going to one of the Grand Prix.
Mm-hmm.
I think we don't need that many. Like, we don't need to add more Grand Prix in America.
Yeah.
Like, they just were like, oh, we should, there's a proposition for one in New York.
Yeah.
No. We don't need that. Like, I would much rather, like, one of the, obviously not COTA, because that's, like, iconic and been going on for so long. One of the other US GPs be taken away to go back to, like, a track that they've raced at in the past that's, like, iconic and been there before.
Yeah, for sure. I think, it's hard, too, because, again, it benefits us because we're in America. Yeah. There's 3 races in America. But, like, it's not like any of them are close to us.
Oh, yeah.
The closest one is literally Miami, and if we drove there, it'd be a 14-hour car drive.
Yeah, it'd be so far.
It's nowhere near. I mean, even New York, that would be like a 12-hour drive.
Yeah.
Not that we're going to drive to Miami, but it's, like, it's almost as, like, easy for us to get to Canada.
Yeah.
Or, like, the Texas one, like, Mexico's not that much further.
I know, yeah.
Like, so I think they could do with taking away one USGP, and I don't know which one it would be, Miami or Vegas. I know Vegas was, like, kind of a shit show, so
I saw literally just a video the other day. Apparently a ton of, like, the like, streets and stores and stuff on like the strip and stuff lost out on revenue because of it. So they're, like, suing Clark. They're not suing F1. They're suing, like, Clark County.
Wow.
Yeah. So I thought it was a great race, but like, I thought I was gonna hate it much more than I did. Yeah, that was the first time I'd ever experienced one of my, like, Lando crashing. My favorite time crashing. That was crazy.
Mm-hmm. Did we watch that together? Yeah, we did.
Yeah, we did. After Friendsgiving. Oh, and remember, we almost had friends come over. That would have been tragic.
Yeah.
If,
like, come
people
over,
also who, like, didn't watch, don't watch.
Yeah, we almost got him, and it was going to be their first race to watch, and it's a good thing it wasn't, because it wasn't.
I would have watched a little tear go down my face after he crashed. That was insane, too, because I was looking at the McLaren app, and all I saw was red flag pop up, and I was like, oh, red flag. And it was, like, before the TV.
Yeah, you always do that. Like,
I do.
She'll watch the updates on the McLaren app, and then she'll be like, oh my gosh. I'm like, what? She's like, and, like, it'll happen on the TV, like, 10 seconds. I'm like, Gracie, keep it to yourself.
I literally was like, oh, there's gonna be a red flag. I was like, oh, there's a red flag. And then I was like, wait, they're asking if Lando's okay. I was like, no, what's going on? And then I look up and he's just spinning out.
That moment I'll never forget, too, because he was so close to taking out Oscar also.
Oh my god, yeah, that would have been...
It would have been tragic. I would have lost it, I think.
Oh, yeah.
It was rough. My next question.
Oh, okay.
Could cause some controversy.
Okay.
Who are your least favorite drivers?
Oh. I don't like hate anyone.
Right. But like, who do you like dislike?
Like, I don't know.
I think I don't like Nico or Kevin.
Yeah, I don't like them. Like, I'm not gonna root for them.
I'm not gonna root for them.
Yeah, I don't like them.
I'm kind of like, I guess it's more so like for teams, I guess.
Sometimes, like, I like Carlos. I like Ferrari. I like Carlos
Yeah.
and Charles. But sometimes, like, also, like, obviously him and Oscar have that weird feud, and I'm always
Yeah.
gonna root for Oscar. So sometimes I'm just like, Carlos, like, get out of here.
Typical Carlos.
Typical Carlos in the middle of the road. I remember I just texted you that screenshot.
Likely place for him to be.
Likely place for him to be. Like, I still like him, but sometimes I'm just like, okay, what are you doing?
Yeah. Like, I love, I don't know, like, I love Alonso, but obviously, and I love Aston Martin. They're one of my favorite teams, but they were right there kind of back and forth with McLaren this year. So, like, I was really conflicted about
Esteban Ocon.
Oh, yeah.
I was like, the whole time we talked about every team except for Alpine. Well, we did in a negative way with Oscar.
Yeah. I don't like Alpine, and it's by extension from the whole Oscar situation. Yeah. But also, I'm not, like, a huge fan of Esteban. I like Pierre. He's okay.
I think I like Pierre because I like Charles.
Yeah, like, I like Pierre by extension of that. I've definitely been liking Pierre a lot more recently.
Yeah. Like, even in the last, like, couple of weeks or so.
But again, he's just one that I don't really like care to root for.
Yeah.
So yeah, Alpine in general is probably my least favorite team. Yeah. Alpine and Haas are like Alfa Romero, again, just kind of Stake
Kick F1.
Stake F1 Kick. Sauber, all the team names. They're another team that I'm kind of indifferent about.
Yeah.
I like AlphaTauri
mainly
Valtteri. Because I love Valtteri.
Yeah.
Again, just as like a person, I like them.
And just like the team, his history.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I like AlphaTauri mainly because of Daniel, though. Like, if Daniel wasn't on the team, like, I'd be like indifferent about them.
Yeah.
So that, like, kind of makes me like him. I loved Liam Lawson, though, also. So when he was driving for AlphaTauri, I also loved that.
That's, like, another, like, I just want everything good for him.
Yeah.
Because I want him eventually on
him and his girlfriend are so cute.
They are cute.
And his vlogs.
I love his vlogs.
I love his vlogs. Did you watch Charles's vlog?
I did,
His LA vlog? That was also good.
That was good.
It sucks at basketball.
Yeah, that was embarrassing. And then when he went to the amusement park and somebody was like, hey, Charles, but your skills, that was bad. He was, like, jumping with it.
There's like one clip of him shooting the basketball in the actual court, and he, like, throws it over his head and, like, does this weird jump, and I'm like, that's embarrassing.
I hope Alex wasn't there for that. I would have gotten the ick.
Yeah.
I'm like, I gotta go.
Gotta go. Yeah. So I don't, but there's not like a driver that I hate or anything.
Yeah.
If there was, it probably.
Now that I thought of Esteban, I take back. I still sometimes do with Carlos, but I'm more with Esteban. I'm like, what are you doing? Get out of the way.
What are you doing? Yeah, I don't know why. It's just something about him I don't really love.
Yeah.
So yeah, everyone has to have.
Yeah, you can't like everybody.
Like everyone. What is your favorite track?
I haven't seen all the tracks. Maybe I would go with Silverstone, just once again, Lando.
Yeah.
And I feel like a lot of the like the fan zones there looked cool from what I saw. Like, yeah, I'll go with that.
Yeah, I think maybe not like track, but like weekend. I really like Singapore because I feel like it always has like a lot of like
good
drama and good content around it. And then I really like Coda.
Yeah, Coda's
and that's
so fun.
Just because it has like it's in America, you know.
The drivers usually like go out for it too.
Yeah, and it's like Daniel Ricciardo's like basically his home race.
God, that is his home race.
I love all of the like cowboy content we get and them in like their cowboy hats. It does something to me.
Did you see Lance in a cowboy hat? I sure did.
And then I really like, but like track wise, I really like the Mexican Grand Prix track.
Oh, that is really cool. How it goes through the stadium.
Yeah, how it goes through the stadium. I think it'd be so cool to watch a race there.
Yeah, that would be really cool.
I think it'd be super exciting to be in that little, like, bowl.
25.
2025. 2025. Cool. We'll be there.
Yeah,
so I think those would be my favorite tracks.
Yeah, that's good.
But again, I don't know. I mean, like, I don't dislike any of the tracks, so there's not any that I'm like, ugh, you know. I always get nervous for Spa.
Yeah.
But Spa's just so...
He won in Spa. He wins in Monza.
Yeah, exactly.
That's the one.
A lot of iconic moments, but a lot of sad iconic moments there.
Yeah, really sad.
So, that's always hard to watch. But, and it's like always freaking raining there. But yeah, those would be... I'm excited to learn more about the tracks. I don't know much about the Miami track, so we'll need to do some research for that. What turn are we on? Do we know what turn we're sitting at?
We'll
have to look.
Turn 11.
11?
Say 11.
That sounds right.
I think it is turn 11. It kind of goes, and the description. Of course, the description of this, but it says it's good overtaking zone.
Oh,
so
ooh.
So hopefully, we can see some good overtakes. I'm very, very excited. I could scream.
Yeah. We are thinking we're going to hopefully get a tiny mic, maybe do some live content from the Grand Prix. We'll be there for the full weekend. Formula One Academy is there that weekend.
We'll probably do a whole episode on Formula One Academy.
Yeah, for sure. I didn't watch any Formula One Academy races last year. I hope to get into it this year. So I'm excited that they'll be there that weekend. But I think all in all, 2024 is going to be a good season. I have a lot of high hopes for McLaren.
Oh, yeah.
And I hope me saying that didn't just, like, jinx us. But I'm really excited to see what this season is, what's going to happen this season. We're
also planning on going to some IndyCar races. So we'll do a little side podcast. Do some IndyCar. We'll be at the 500, so that's always a good time.
Yep.
So we'll have that excited. Too. Some other content to look forward.
Yeah. I think we're excited for this season. We're gonna do our predictions for 2024. Oh yeah,
the next episode should be our predictions.
Yeah, we're gonna do probably a recap of the Drive to Survive season. I'm so interested to see what they do for Drive to Survive this year.
I want to know how they're gonna portray Oscar.
Yeah, because it could go either way.
It could go. Oh my god, yeah.
And
also it's gonna be so sad about Logan. I'm not looking forward to that.
Yeah, or are they gonna be mean about Logan though?
If they're mean about Logan, I will
boycott.
I actually will stop watching.
Yeah.
I'm gonna need you to comb through first because I physically can't watch it if they're mean to Logan.
I'm gonna do a trigger warning. Mean to Logan.
20 minutes in, mean to Logan. Just skip 5 minutes.
Skip 5 minutes. But yeah, we're excited. We're hopefully gonna be consistent with posting every week. I think Sunday is what we're posting, or Monday.
I think Mondays.
Mondays normally, but we'll obviously, as time goes on, get a schedule down, and we're just super excited to learn more about Formula One.
Yeah. And we have Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok. It's all Podium Pop or Podium Pop Pod. We'll put them in the descriptions.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We'll make sure. Follow us on all social media. We have TikTok, Twitter, Instagram. And then obviously give us a rating on this podcast if you liked it.
Yeah.
If you didn't like it, you could just not give us a rating.
Don't worry about it.
Yeah, just skip that part.
Be nice.
Yeah,
Don't be mean.
And that's it. We don't really have an outro yet.
Yeah, we don't.
We'll work on it. We'll figure something out. But
Thanks
I guess
for listening.
thanks for listening. We'll see you next time.
See ya.
Bye.